Hi everyone, this is Michelle Famoso. I'm here to show you how to create an online class live with your students using Zoom. So you'll need an account with Zoom. Here's the web address, zoom.us. You'll go there and then say sign up. It is free, so go ahead and do that. This is what it will look like. You'll enter your school email address here, the one that's at scolonie.org. You'll say sign up, and then it will ask you, I've already have an address with Zoom, so that's why it's giving me this message. Otherwise, you're going to go ahead and just create your account. It will ask you a few questions. Make sure you use your @scolonie.org email address, not your personal one. This will give you additional features and benefits during the COVID-19 distance learning stuff that's going on. All right, then you'll come back and you'll say sign in once you're there. Enter your school email address and password, whatever password you wanted to create with Zoom, and say sign in. Once you've signed in, it brings you to your profile and your account, and you'll see that I've already created my account with my information for the students. Then you can go ahead and say that you want to schedule a meeting. This is the fun part where you get to schedule the class with the students. I don't know what time you've got in mind where you're thinking you want to do this, whether you want to do it live or just record it. You can do it either way. What I'm going to do is schedule a new class, and I'm going to do it for right now. I'm going to call this a test meeting. You can enter a description of it if you'd like, so your students know what this class is about and when you want to have the meeting. So I'm going to do this now, March 15th at 5 o'clock, which is in just a few minutes. And I do want it to be for about an hour in length, but you can set whatever time length you want. Notice that here it says normally you would get a 40-minute time limit on your meetings. That's not the case right now because of COVID-19. That's why we used our scolonie.org email address. They've extended that for us as teachers. We are in the Eastern time zone. You could schedule this to be recurring, like every day at this time, if that's what you want to do. And I'm going to say generate an automatic meeting ID. That way every class has a different ID. I'm not going to require that the students have a password in order to get into the class. I do want my video and theirs to be on when they come in. This way they can see me using my webcam and I can see them using their webcam if they have one. I do want to be able to allow them to speak either using their telephone if they don't have a microphone on their computer or the computer's audio. So I'm going to say both. Under meeting options, I am going to enable the kids to log in before I get there if they happen to. This is a possible option as well. Sometimes if you've got a lot of kids coming into a class, having all their microphones on as soon as they enter can be a little distracting. So if you want to mute their microphones as they come into the class, you would check this option here. I'm not going to do that for our class today. You could enable a waiting room, which means that they're in this holding pattern until you get there. And you could also enable, if you like, to have the meeting be recorded automatically once you've gotten to the meeting. I'm going to show you a way to record it when you're ready to record it instead of selecting that there. I'm now going to go ahead and say save. And what it now tells me is that I have this test meeting that's scheduled to begin at 5 o'clock today. There's a meeting ID. Now this meeting ID needs to be given to all the students who want to enter into this class. And the join for that is this information right here under the join URL. You can either copy and paste that and send that out into an email message or post it in your Google Classroom, or you could just copy the invitation. You can edit it in here if you'd like, and then just say copy the meeting invitation. Now, the important piece that they need, again, is that URL to join. That's what they need. They need that URL. And once you've sent that out, all they're going to do is click on that meeting. Click on that URL for the meeting, and then they'll be prompted to log right into Zoom. I'll show you how that's done. So I'm going to show you what happens once they've clicked on that URL, and I can do that right here from Start This Meeting. They will see the same window. Now, if you have your own laptop, you can actually download and run Zoom from your local computer using one of their free downloads. our students on their Chromebooks don't have that ability to download Zoom, but they can launch Zoom right from their web browser. There is no need to download the special Zoom client. I have the Zoom client installed on my laptop, so I'm going to open Zoom meetings. But if you want to just click here to launch the meeting, then you can, that's what the students will be doing. So that way they can get in on their Chromebooks. If they have their own personal laptops or desktops, they can certainly download and run Zoom from their local machine. So I'm going to go ahead and say, open the Zoom meetings using my client. There it is. And did you see it displayed my name? That's what it's going to do with all of your students when they join the classroom. It will ask them for their name, and it will display their name on the screen when they're joining. Then they have to do this as well, say join with the computer audio or use whatever speaker or microphone they have. And then you'll see that over here, I'm not muted, but they could mute themselves when they come in, or you can actually mute them as the host of the meeting. Just click up this button. And then there's some options in here where you can select the different things. And then you can actually even change your video. I'm using this is my webcam off my laptop. All right, now let me show you some of these interesting features in Zoom that we have. Here enables you to invite people to the meeting if they did not get the web link. You just say invite and then type in their email addresses or cell numbers. Over here allows you to manage who's in the class with you. Right now you can see it's just me, but I could see other ones. If a student's being disruptive, you could always say, you can always bounce them from the meeting in here too. You can also mute them in here as well. Here's a great option which enables you to share your screens. Let me show you how this works. Let's say I've got a PowerPoint that I want to share with my students. So I can come here, I have a PowerPoint open, and on this window it asks me, what do I want to share? Here are my open windows. I'm going to select this one here. This is my PowerPoint. And I'm going to say share. There it is. And I'm going to go to my slideshow. And now this is what my students are going to see on their screen. Now, I can just work through this PowerPoint the way I normally would, either by clicking or using the up and down arrows. And some other neat features. Notice now the bottom window for the Zoom client is now gone. I can get that by going back to the top of the screen. And now I have that same thing. But now I've got some other options like this annotate option, which is kind of neat. This allows me to type text on the window or just write with a pen. I can change the color that I'm writing in, the line width, the font, all that kind of stuff. Let me just type a little message here on the screen. Hello. And there we go. Now I've got a little message on the screen, or I can draw. I can just, oops. Let me do that. And now I've got, you can see I've got a pencil and I can just type or write, or I can underline certain things on the screen that are really important as I work through my PowerPoint. I can also clear things out. I can undo things that I've done, as you can see that I'm doing there, and so on and so forth. When I'm done sharing this and I want to go back to my webcam, I just say stop share. Now what's interesting about sharing is in Zoom, it allows you to have the participants in the meeting also share things. And they would get that same button, same green button on the bottom of the screen. Whoops. We could say a new share, and we could say, what do we want to share now? What do we want to share now? Do I want to share the screen? Do I want to share something else? There's other things that I can put out there. I'm actually going to say that I want to share something from my document camera. And I'm going to say share. And there it is. I have a document camera also hooked up, which connects to some paper, some worksheets that I'm going to work on with the students. And this allows me here to type. But do you notice? You can still see the webcam's on me. So that's also, my kids have the ability to see not only the content, but they have the ability to see me too, physically in front of them. I'm now going to stop sharing what I've got here. And now it just puts me back to the webcam, full screen. I'm going to close out this participants window. There we go. All right, some other cool features. Your students can share out to you too. They have the same button. And you can, as the host of the meeting, select which student can share when. You have that right to kind of override what they're doing. If we click that, you can see multiple participants can share simultaneously, or you can just have one person sharing at a time. There's some advanced sharing options in there. Who can share? I've selected all the participants. So if I had a student in my class, let's say we were doing a web-based simulation of something like a lab. I could have my students go to that website. I could actually push that out to them in a chat, for example, here. This allows me to message everyone that's on the group chat on the class. I would type my message here like, hello, and let's go to google.com. And if I do that, then the students could actually go right to that. I could even push out a file to them right from my Google Drive or from my computer and have them go right to that file at that time and work with it while they're in the Zoom with me. And what's just like I'm able to go back and forth in between the different apps and have the students see those different things on the screen, they can do that here in Zoom too. And then I can ask them to share it. So we could have like share with the class. We could do it the same way where everybody is seeing what's going on. That chat feature I think is a great feature. So let's say, for example, I'm doing a PowerPoint and working through it. I would mute all my students while I was doing that, just so that way there weren't any interruptions or I didn't hear any whispering if somebody came into their bedroom while they were on the class or something. But let's say they've got a question while I'm going through it. This is where I would hope they would ask me the question is in the group chat, and I would have that up on the screen next to me while I was doing it. So that way when the question came in, I would know, number one, who asked me the question, and then secondly, I could actually answer it for them either in the chat window or I could make sure I addressed it in my presentation when it came up. That's a neat feature. Another really cool feature of Zoom is that it allows you to record your class. So let's say you've got a class with 10 kids and only 5 of them made it that day to your online class. You don't want 5 kids to miss what you just taught. This is a lot of work for us to have to do this. So instead of having to reteach it, what you would do is you could just record it. Let me show you how that works. You click the record button and you can see now it's recording the class for us any length of time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it. We don't need to do the whole thing right now. And then when it's done, when we're done with our meeting and we say end meeting, it's going to actually wrap up the whole file for us. And I'll show you how to access that and then push that out to your students when you're all done as well. But this way, students who are either not able to attend the live class that you're doing, or maybe they did attend, but they just need a refresher. They want to review it before you quiz them or test them or something. They can always go back and watch the recorded class because you're going to push it out to them as well. All right, let me see if there's anything else I want to show you. There is a way to split the screen. If we do this, exit the full screen mode. There we go. I thought there was a way to do this. Under share. Oh, maybe not. There is a way. I think I need a student on here to do that where I can actually split the window and I can see myself on one side and my students on the other. There's like a gallery view versus the speaker view. That would be displayed up here if you had students actually in the class. All right, I think that's everything I wanted to show you with Zoom today. So let's end this meeting and I'll show you what happens with the recording that we just created. Okay, I'm going to end this for everybody in the class. There we go. It's closing out. Close that. I'm going to get out of this PowerPoint as well. All right, go back to my Zoom client. There we are. And this is where I want to look for where am I going to save this folder. So what I'm going to do right now is I have on my desktop, I have a folder called Zoom Classes. So I'm going to select that. This is the folder where I want my recorded files to be saved. There we are. And this is the file for the class that we just had. So now I want to send out the class to all my students so that way they can watch it later. This is the file that you want to push out to them, the playback file. You could just send out the audio from it or just the video, but this is the one. I'm going to right click on it and open it with my Windows Media Player. And that way you can see that that was the minute or so that and you can see now it's recording the class for us any length of time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it. We don't need to do the whole thing right now. See, there you go. You would just push that out and send that out to them. And that way they could then rewatch the class whenever they wanted. And you can push it out to them. It does save it here on your local computer, but then you can just push it out through your Google Classroom like you would do any other file. Well, I hope that was helpful, everybody. And shoot me an email if you have any questions. I'm glad to help. Take care. Stay healthy. Wash your hands. Bye-bye.